going on? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of it's a Saturday to Sunday edition. We do our college football review and the NFL preview. Of course, I got my co-host with me, Thad, today. How you doing, sir?
How you doing, Jelani? Ready to talk some sports, some college, some NFL, and sit down and watch these games.
Of course, as always. So first, we're gonna kick it off. I had to start off with my boys because we got another dub yesterday against Tennessee Volunteers. And then also other side, Mac Jones and them, they did their thing against LSU. So got probably one of the biggest games that's coming up in a few weeks. Primetime matchup. It'll be here in Atlanta as always too. SEC championship between our Florida Gators, or my Florida Gators, and and Alabama. So I guess we can talk about the games individually first, and then talk about this matchup that we're going to see here in Atlanta. So, what do you think about? It's not probably not going to be much to say, but what did you think about the Alabama LSU
game? Completely overpowered them. Their offense is just dynamic. I don't know if it's Steve Sarkisian or the weapons. They're just having this. I don't know. Ever since Tua's taken over, it's like their offense is just. This is not the Alabama we know. Like they have a balance running, but they got weapons, and LSU was just outmatched from the beginning. They couldn't keep up. It was 21-0 in the first quarter, and they really never looked back. Mac Jones had another flawless game. Najee Harris had another good game. It's just it's not really much to talk about. It was a dominating win. And I don't see Alabama taking their foot off the gas anytime soon. And then they're I think they show why they're the number one team in the nation. Like their offense is so good, and their defense is they're okay. But Nick Saban coach team, they're always they'll show up. Like he's gonna have them ready to go, and they'll make some timely plays. So right now I'm thinking they might be the best team in the country. I don't know, but that win, I know LSU's having a bad season, but that was a very convincing win, and they showed a lot. As they have all season.
Yeah, pretty much all their wins been pretty convincing. I think the closest game they played was in the beginning of the year. Exactly. So, Mac Jones looked great as always. Both these quarterbacks looked pretty good yesterday. And they're both front runners for the Heisman. But Devonta Smith, 3 TDs. Najee Harris.
Oh yeah, hold on. I gotta stop you really quick. That one-hand grab he had in the end zone.
In the back of the end zone, it was tough.
That was tough.
Yeah, it was just his day. I don't know what it was, how much he had at halftime, but he had crazy amount. I don't know if it was overall. I know overall, I think he had like 270 something yards, 3 TDs. I forgot how many receptions, but it was a big day by him. And they, last few years they've been pumping out receivers too, and running back. So like both of them, when they face, which we'll get to later, when they face off, I'm a little worried about Najee Harris and now Devonta Smith. He's been pretty good all year, but obviously, coming down the stretch, what he did yesterday, I'm sure against our young secondary, he can probably replicate the same thing. So, but I guess we could hop over to Florida, talk a little bit about their game versus the Volunteers. I personally, I don't know. I didn't think it was that it was a good win. Obviously, it was too close of a game throughout the first half for me. They went to halftime. They just went to halftime 17-7 because they scored right before halftime, and then. Coming out, they had a few miscues, few mistakes. They Trask missed on a 4th down throw. They didn't convert, certain drives to where they could have scored touchdowns. And then the defense, in my opinion, led a really, really mediocre Tennessee offense. Put up 19 on them. But overall, like I said, what matters is a win, 38-19, and they're moving on to face Alabama in the SEC championship, and possibly if they win that, could slide their way into the college football playoffs. So what did you see from the game, and what do you think about this matchup between the two that we'll see in a few weeks?
I'll start off with the game. I'll be real brief. The Gators offense their passing game is very potent. Trask every game he's pretty much been flawless. Yesterday he was 35 for 49 with 4 tubs and 433 yards, so nothing much to say about that. But y'all running game, well, I'll talk about that later. Let's talk about the game. Y'all defense, they showed a little weaknesses. A true freshman came in for Tennessee and his first career start against Florida. He wasn't too bad, but I feel like y'all should have forced him into some, rookie mistakes, first a couple of turnovers. But Tennessee's not a terrible team. Their record shows that they're bad, but they can play well at times.
I
guess that's what I expected. It's a rivalry, so I wouldn't expect y'all to blow them out. especially it being in Knoxville as well.
Yeah.
But overall, good performance. Let's carry on to Bama. What I was going to bring up, I'm looking forward to this matchup. I really am. Niles won't stop talking to me about it. He swears you guys are ready for Bama, and we'll see. But I do need to point out one thing. To beat Bama, y'all going to have to establish more of a run game. I was looking at the box score, and y'all leading rusher was Copeland, and he had 1 carry for 17 yards. Like, y'all had 17 rushes as a whole, but y'all leading, like, y'all back the back with the most carries was only 5. So, like, you guys got to establish, more of a run game.
Yeah.
It might. I mean, it's been working majority of the year, but Alabama, he's not going to let you. Yeah. He's like Bill Belichick. Like, he always takes away your best option or, like, your number one target or, like, if you're a pass-heavy team, he's going to make you put the ball on the ground, basically. So.
Exactly. Real quick, want to shout out my guy Steven from Off the Ball Network as well. He's checking in, saying what's up. Appreciate you for tuning in, sir. But yeah, pretty much like you just said, I think honestly it was the first few games of the year. They had established a decent ground game, but I think once Trash started to take off in that passing game, we got Kyle Pitts, probably the best tight end receiver combo in the National League, or not National League, sorry, in college football. He will be probably a big one in the National League. But then also, we also got Grimes, we got Tony. He's pretty electric when he gets the ball as well. So I feel like once they saw Trask kind of take off, I think the running game took a back seat. But like you just said, they're gonna have to establish that against Alabama for sure, because Trask ain't gonna be able to nickel and dime and throw the ball down the field against this Alabama type defense, which has improved throughout the year from the early stages of the first few games of the season. So I think that's a valid point, and I can see that for sure. Another thing is, of course, our defense. I know we talked about it a little bit, I think, in the show earlier this week, but our defense is pretty young, especially in the secondary. I think we got one junior or whatever at corner, but basically, like, that's where it's going to be won and lost. You can see Mac Jones is tossing all over the field. Devonta Smith is going crazy. They got a few other receivers that's been doing really well this year as well. So if they're able to get to the air early and make big plays, then it might be, who knows, it might be a early one for us to wrap up. So 2 main points, pretty much. We got to establish a run game, and if our defense isn't able to lock up the receivers, or at least hold them to under 100, maybe 2-3 big plays, then we're probably done for. So
yeah, that's what I don't know.
Overall, I'm excited for us to even just have an opportunity, because that loss to Texas A&M early in the season kind of put a dent on what I thought was going to put a dent on us possibly being able to make it to the college football championships, because I thought we maybe lose another game as well. 2-loss SEC team is not making it into the SEC champion, or not making it into the college football championship. So just glad to be here. I guess it's one of those tight feelings. But
I think it will be a good game. It might be a shootout. I'm expecting a shootout, but I feel like I don't think Alabama's defense will. We'll see. Have y'all played a defense like them all year?
Let's see. What's the best defense I think we're supposed to play was the Georgia defense, like, because that was around the time, like, they was like somewhere, I think, like maybe top. I know top 5 for sure. It might have been top 3, like one of the best defense talked about in the nation. But we pretty much tore them up.
You got Bama and Florida tore Georgia's defense.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know if it was just numbers and rankings that had them so high, or if they're actually decently good and just haven't had the best of year. But I don't know. But moving on, we're going to talk about the other side of it, the ACC. The one of the other bigger conferences, of course. We're gonna get a rematch between these two squads. This time, Trevor Lawrence will be on the field, laced up and playing. So, first, I guess. Well, I didn't really watch much of the Notre Dame game. I'm not even gonna lie. But if you want, we could talk about a little bit about the Clemson game, and then this matchup that we're gonna see in a few weeks as well.
I'm looking forward to the rematch with Trevor Lawrence. I'm expecting Clemson to come out on top just because of kind of who they are, and I just feel like they're the better football team. Notre Dame's a solid team, though. I don't think we give them enough credit. We always think they're a fluke, but you got to show up every week, and they show up every week. They haven't lost, so somebody got to knock them off. And I just feel like last time the freshman, I can't say his name, DJ, he played well, but I just felt like if they opened up the playbook more, they would have ran away with the game. And this time having Trevor Lawrence back, they'll be able to, he'll have the full playbook to his disposal.
Yeah.
And he'll take advantage of some of those matchups on the outside, and hopefully Travis Etienne gets going in the run game. And the biggest key for Clemson, like I know they're going to put up points, but on defense, Coach Venables is really good. He's a really good coordinator, but
yeah,
I'm pretty sure he knows this as well. You have to contain Ian Book. Like you can't allow him to have those big plays. He's very good at extending plays. He's kind of like Houdini in the pocket. He's pretty elusive, athletic. So you got to contain him. That running back they have, and get them off the field. Like those 3rd down and 5s, when you have the sack and he gets out of it, you can't allow that to happen. So as long as they contain Ian Book, and it's not much for me that I need to say about Clemson, but they just need to play how they play and contain Ian Book, because I feel like he's their best player. So and I don't know if Notre Dame would still get in with a loss if it say they lose by 3 this time with Trevor Lawrence. I think they'll get some respect from the committee, but they get blown out, I won't see them getting any love for the playoffs. But I expect Clemson to win by, I say, 10.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're gonna get to that as well, because I wanted to see what you thought who may get in. Like say Notre Dame loses with a 1 loss, if they get in or not. Because we talked about that earlier in the week as well, and I was saying if Florida beats Alabama and then Notre Dame loses close to Clemson, it's possible that we could just see a rematch of these same 4 teams in the college football playoffs. But I guess talk a little bit about Clemson, their game yesterday with Virginia Tech. Because they started off a little slow. Obviously it was 17-10 for a good little bit, and then how Clemson does, they just turn it on. Like it went from 17-10 to 31-10 in a flash. So they're pumping on offense. Obviously they got probably the number 1 pick in the draft this upcoming year. Heading their team. Then defensively, they got guys everywhere. So they can put it on you quickly. So I guess like you just said, for the keys with Notre Dame, their keys for them and all of their wins, pretty much they control the ball, they control the clock, and then Ian Book is able to extend plays, and they're able to put points on the board when it matters. With Ian Book being able to extend plays and make plays for that team on offense, and then also their running back, like you said, they're able to contain both those guys, which I'm pretty sure. A hungry Clemson team after losing to them in overtime is they'll pretty much come in and try to shut all that down. And I'm sure Trevor probably got a little bit of chip on his shoulder as well, seeing his team lose from the sideline and him not being able to be in the game and help them out as well. So I think it's going to be a nice little matchup. I think I kind of agree with you. I think Clemson can take control of the game. They probably won't take control of it early, but I think they can win this game by 10, maybe possibly even more. But like you said, I'm not going to knock Notre Dame. I give them the respect. They've played well all year. They've played who's in front of them, and they've undefeated to this point. So I personally think if they lose close to, I think they probably do. Like I said, I think they get the respect, but I think I'm not hoping for it, but I can see them possibly, if I guess whatever, depending on the stuff going on with Ohio State. Honestly, I think they're fine now though and eligible to make it, because I think they've played their 5 games now. So if Notre Dame loses, more than likely, if Notre Dame loses and then Ohio State pretty much wins out, they play Northwestern in Big Ten championship, then it's probably them, Clemson, Florida if they beat Alabama. And then I guess that's where the toss-up is going to come from, is do you put Alabama, who's playing well all year, and loses to Florida in a SEC championship bout, or do you put Notre Dame, who's also been playing well all year, has been undefeated to this point, loses to Clemson in the ACC championship bout? So I guess that's what would be interesting. I don't which of the two do you think they'll go with? I guess it obviously depends on how the game plays out, but
it's Bama.
Yeah.
So they used to call it the Alabama Invitational because they win every year until I think last year was their first year not being in the top 4.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, their resume from the past, your name matters. Notre Dame, Alabama, it's a little different.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if they both have 1 loss, I have Bama getting in, and I wouldn't even think twice about it.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Yeah. That's why eventually, like I said, we talked about a little bit before, but expanding possibly to to 6 teams at least. So I don't know when that will happen. Maybe hopefully soon, but I feel like it's viable to do, like I said, but it's going to be unfortunate. But more than likely, I agree with you as well. If both lose in their championship games, they're probably going to give Alabama the nod. It's probably just no question. They're probably going to also take into consideration they've been playing in the SEC the entire year, of course. So they probably rank SEC talent a little bit higher than the ACC, talent in games that Notre Dame has played. So. All right, moving on. We're going to talk, like I said, we're talking about a little bit just now, but Ohio State, probably not much to talk about from this game, but the biggest thing was I know they played without, of course, their coach Ryan Day, 3 offensive linemen, I think a starting linebacker or something like that. So, but they still were able to handle their what they had to do against Michigan State, end up winning 50-2 to 14. So, what did you see from this game? And I guess kind of like a bounce back game in a sense, because I think last time we see Justin Fields, it wasn't that pretty. So
his first come down to earth game. Ohio State's a good team. They're a top 4 team. Basically, they showed me a lot yesterday. A lot of coaches have it's a next man up mentality, but that's literally what it was. I can't remember exactly, but I know I'm positive the 2 tackles, the left tackle and right tackles, they made their first career starts yesterday.
Yeah,
that's not easy. You just hopping in. And then I don't know how long he knew, but he didn't have much time to prepare it, and they didn't fall off. They looked normal. It looked like it looked like Ohio State football. Their run game was pretty decent. Yeah. Justin Fields had time in the pocket. He made some nice throws. They're just a deep team. That's what they showed me. There was no drop off in their O-line play from what I saw. They maybe missed a couple blocks here and there, but that happened. So yeah. It's not really much to talk about. Michigan State's not a very good team, and Ohio State dominated them like they should.
Yeah.
So hopefully they can, stay COVID free, because I think if they can't miss another game or 2 more games to be eligible. I forgot what it was for Big Ten, but they gotta, follow the protocol so they can finish all their games.
Yeah, it could either be 5 or 6. I know they're at 5 now, so. And supposedly, but they're supposed to play Michigan next week, I believe, if it's able to happen.
Because Michigan hasn't played in a minute either.
Exactly, yeah. So I don't know. Hopefully it is able to happen. Like I said, everything's able to stay on track for them as a team. Because I don't know. It would suck and be unfortunate, obviously, for them to miss just because they haven't met the number of games, but they've been pretty healthy all year and wanting to play as well. But obviously, if they play Michigan, it's probably not going to be no contest. Michigan's been pretty bad all year, so if they're able to get that game out the way, they win that. They're I think set up to play Northwestern Big Ten, I believe.
I think so.
Still up in the air.
Yeah.
Because I know they got 1 loss, obviously, and I think
Wisconsin.
That's what I'm about to get to.
They lost to them head to head.
Yeah, and then Wisconsin lost yesterday to Indiana. So
they did. Wow. Yeah, they were supposed to win that game. That was kind of crazy.
Yeah, and then we're going to talk about it in a second. I think I got the picture, but yeah, so I think they'll probably end up playing Northwestern in the Big Ten, and get that over with as well. So if they win out, more than likely they're in there. And what are they ranked? They're ranked 3rd now in the class playoff. So
I think 3rd.
Yeah. So moving on, we're going to talk about a little bit about kind of a game that was thrown together last minute, almost like like a backyard football type game, like if it was going out there running 7-on-7 at Duluth or something. But Coastal Carolina BYU, like I said, I caught most of it. I was coming out of coaching, but I heard and saw like pretty much the last few minutes that it was a really, really good game. So what did you see from this game, and what do you think, I guess, of the ending right here?
Like you said, they just basically threw this game together. Once Liberty was supposed to play, I think Liberty was supposed to play Coastal, and then they had positive tests. So I guess they reached out to BYU, but this ended up being a great idea because it was a great game. I pretty much watched this game. I was on and off watching it from start to finish because I think towards the end, Bama came on and then Clemson. So I was watching on both my TVs, but I couldn't, pay full attention.
Yeah.
But it was a good game, man. Coastal showed some grit. Like, everybody, including myself, was skeptical about their ranking because, they're a lower FBS school. They became FBS like a couple of years ago, if I'm not mistaken. And they showed some fight. They showed they belong. I wouldn't say a top 10 team, but they beat a highly ranked BYU team and undefeated BYU team at that. What's crazy is that we were just talking about them last week. when one of your guys posted his ranking, and I was like, BYU, like they're not top 10. They're just not, and they showed it. Their schedule was somewhat light for the most part, playing some FCS schools as well, even North Alabama, who is in our conference. It was just a good game, Zach Wilson, he had, I think he's out of the Heisman race because he didn't have a terrible game, but he was 19 for 30 with a pick and 240. So
and you can't be in the Heisman game. Obviously, like you said, well, you can't be in the Heisman game losing games, I guess. It's like you just said, I don't want to knock Coastal Carolina, but like
they won. You really can't knock them. You can't, but BYU. So I feel like they were supposed to win this game if they played better.
Yeah. That's probably why they accepted it in as a whole, because like you said a few days ago when we had Devin on as well, he was like, I'm going through the schedule and I don't see one top 25 win, on their resume. So why are they, ranked so high or whatever? And I was like, of course they can only play who's in front of them. So I'm guessing, this is one of the reasons why they took that game. They had an opportunity to face a team that's also ranked top 25, help the resume a little bit, even though there's no way they're probably gonna make the top 4 college football playoffs, but help their resume a little bit in order to move up in those rankings. And obviously, I guess not that it backfired, because obviously I think they want to play football. They just want to have their guys out there, playing and competing. So but in a way it did backfire, obviously, because they lost the game. But it was an overall entertaining game, like you said. I caught the last few minutes of it, and this last play right here, it looked like he could possibly, like if he broke a tackle or two, squeak into the end zone or even extended the ball. But Coastal Carolina's defense, still strong. You see right here, everybody's swarming. There's 3 guys on the ball, and then 1 guy coming to clean it up. So
11 definitely. I think that's 11 or number 10. He basically saved the game, because without him, I know he can extend that ball.
He probably could have extended the ball, because they're on his backside, and 1 guy's kind of like under his leg. So overall good game. Like I said, it may be a backfire a little bit for BYU, but Coastal Carolina showed they could play, I guess, with the big boys.
Yeah, I mean, they had game day there. They had all the reasons to be nervous. The moment could have been too big, and they ended up showing up. So, kudos to them. And kudos to my boy Cam. He transferred from Charleston Southern. He's one of not their top receiver, but he's their second or third receiver, and he had a pretty decent game. So, shout out to him.
Yes, sir. All right, and then moving on. Last, I think college game we'll touch on. Doesn't, like I said, they're 2 top 25 ranked teams. Wisconsin 16, Indiana 12, but with Ohio State and Northwestern, both kind of in front of them, with 1 loss and no losses. More likely, two teams are out of the college football playoff talk as well. But overall, it was an okay game. It was really more of a defensive game. It was really kind of boring in my opinion. 14-6. I guess towards the end it got a little bit interesting because Wisconsin was driving. They were able to win the game. I think with under a minute left. And this throw to the end zone to Diaz. He missed it, or he didn't miss it. I guess it was good defense by Indiana's corner, but he had a chance to catch the ball, win the game, or not win the game, chance to tie the game to go into overtime because it would have been 14-14. But dropped the ball, and pretty much game was over from there. I don't know if you caught most of it or some of it, but like I said, if you wanted to touch on it real quick, and what you think it may mean for Indiana possibly moving up, or if they have a chance at all.
It was a defensive battle. I didn't watch too much of this game. I wasn't expecting it to be close because Indiana lost their quarterback for the year with the ACL, so I was expecting it to be a drop off. But they controlled the clock. It was a defensive game, which I'm really not a fan of, but I like football, so it is what it is. But Indiana,
quarterback, of course, he wouldn't like that.
I think without their starter, they won't get the love they deserve, but they'll move up because they won against a quality opponent without their quarterback. So that just goes to show, their coaching is pretty good. It was just a solid game by them. Their defense is not to be slept on because they made some plays against Ohio State, even though they got gashed, but they made some timely plays. And not too much to talk about. I think Indiana will move up because of the way they won and without their best. I wouldn't say he's their best player, but one of their best players. So they'll get some love, and Wisconsin will drop.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just, they started out strong, but once that COVID thing hit, they missed like 2 weeks. Their quarterback missed like 3 weeks and everything. It really hasn't been the same since.
Yeah.
But Indiana, like I said last week, you can't really sleep on them. They're a solid team. and you see they're here to compete. They play hard for their coach.
Yep. All right. And then like the last one we'll hit on because they're the 5th ranked team, college football players, and they're the only ones they may have a chance depending on what's going on, what type of movement we'll see in the next few weeks. Texas A&M versus Auburn. I was coaching this game, so I didn't get to see much of it, but I know Spiller, I think he probably had a pretty big game as well. So yeah, he's had a pretty big. I know he had a big game against us when we played him, my Florida Gators, and then he's been having a pretty big year all year. So I guess you could talk about this game a little bit, and then what you think Texas A&M has to do or doesn't have to do in order to possibly make the top.
Okay. Well, yeah, I watched most of this game. I was watching with Tyler. It was a good game for A&M. Pretty balanced attack. Kellen Mond, if I'm not mistaken, he was 18 for 23 for 196, and Spiller had 20 carries for 120. So, they're balanced all around. They controlled the clock. Auburn's a tough team. Their offense, I don't like their system. I think that's part of their main problem.
Mm-hmm.
But, they gave them a little fight. It was a good game down to the wire pretty much. Not down to the wire, to the fourth quarter. And so,
they took over.
A&M got a TD, and then they basically ran out the clock.
Yeah.
But, A&M, their quality opponent, it had a good – this is a good win because Auburn is a trap game. Playing Auburn at home, no matter what their record is, they can beat anybody.
Yeah.
So they went in there and handled their business like they should have. And looking forward to – looking ahead to make the top 4, basically I think they control their own destiny in a way, but they need some help. All right. So the scenario is I think they have to win out, of course, but it would be best if Alabama beats Florida because Florida will have 2 losses and they lost to A&M. So there's no way.
Yeah, they're going to be thinking about that.
But if Florida beats Bama, that's where everything gets tricky. But I can't even say that because if Florida is undefeated, they're getting in regardless. But A&M, I think for them to make the playoff, they got to win out, of course, and they need some help from Bama because I don't see when Notre Dame and Clemson will play in the ACC championship.
Yeah.
Yeah, so actually, I take that back. They need help from Bama, but for now, they just need to worry about win these last 2 games or last game and see what happens because that's all they can do. They've done what they have quality wins on the schedule. They don't have a bad loss to Bama because it's Alabama. So as long as they handle their business, I can honestly see them getting in the top 4 because Clemson or Notre Dame is going to take themselves out. And if Clemson loses again.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's going to have to be I think it'd have to be Clemson losing to Notre Dame again, and then Florida losing to Alabama for them to probably squeak in. Well, not squeak in, but Ohio State's kind of there already. And then put Texas A&M in. I think that's the only. It's probably not the only way. It's the only way I can think of right now. Basically, 2 1-loss teams losing in their championship game, and then it being Alabama, Notre Dame, Clemson. I'm not Clemson. Alabama, Notre Dame, Ohio State, and Texas A&M. I'm pretty sure there's some crazy scenario which Jeff, which I'll share with you, of course. But Jeff from Jeff Needs Sports. I'm pretty sure he's come up with a few crazy scenarios. Probably has something in his back pocket. So. That's the only one I can think of right now, but who says it can't happen? I think it's possible. So that's probably their best way.
It's really tricky. I'm interested to see how this all plays out. I don't know because one loss Notre Dame. Does A&M jump them if they lose to Clemson by 3? Like I don't know. So we'll just have to see. It'll be interesting. What is it? 2-3 weeks because the playoff games are in a month. Right?
Oh, yeah. I think typically, let me see. I could look it up. We said probably show obviously right before it, but I think next week might be one of the last weeks of regular games.
Yeah, because
for some teams, and then I think they should be playing either the week after that or 2 weeks from there. So it's coming up soon. I think typically it's always before. Christmas, so it definitely got to be within 2 weeks for sure. Yep, as Steven just said it. Yeah, 2 weeks. So we'll be ready for those matchups, ACC and SEC championships for sure. So, but switching gears a little bit, we're gonna go over now to the NFL, talk about our teams first, and then just some big matchups that's supposed to happen today, and then we'll go through and pick what teams we think is gonna win today, and then also we do our fantasy standouts at the end of the show. So real quick, of course, those that don't know, that as a Jaguar fan, probably don't know or haven't seen many of those. But yeah, this is pretty much his time to talk about his Jaguars. I don't know if anybody's ever wants to hear about him or whatever, but I give him his 5 minutes to talk about what he thinks they're gonna do against the Vikings today.
Yeah, it'll be less than that today. We got to secure that number 1 and number 2 pick. I don't like to see us lose, but it's necessary at the time. I think Mike Glennon will be our starter today. Minshew.
He didn't play that bad last week.
No, he didn't. We almost beat the Browns, but I was I was hoping we folded to where they didn't win. We didn't win.
Yeah.
But yeah, I expect us to lose today. We'll put up a fight. We play hard. There's many games that we should have won this year, but we just don't have the pieces. We have a lot of players out. Both our number 1 and number 2 corners are out. So I expect Thielen and Justin Jefferson to have a field day, along with our run defense not being that well. So, I expect Dalvin Cook to have a big day as well. And I see us losing by 14. I think we'll put up a fight. Appreciate it, Steven. We need all the help we can get. But, I just don't expect much. There's not much to talk about. I know we're going to lose today. It's just by how much. I just like, I like to see us play hard. Like, I don't mind us losing because we need this low draft pick, but, as long as we play hard, show some grit, yeah, that's about it. And, I'm just looking forward to next year, taking it game by game. I'm running scenarios in my head of the people we're going to get with these 4 top 50 draft picks, I'm just trying to be optimistic. But yeah.
Well, I know obviously quarterback as a whole, I got to feel what other – and probably rusher or rush end as well. So who else? What else do you think they want to do with those picks?
A quarterback for sure. I think it would be nice. I know they like Chenault, but I'd like to get another threat on the other side of DJ Chark. And then in the secondary, Trey Herndon. I like Sidney Jones. Even though the Eagles cut him, he's played well for us. So I could see him filling in as that number 2 corner with Trey Herndon in the slot. So I would go safety. We have this guy, Andrew Wingard. Every time he's out there, I don't know why he's on the field. So hopefully we pick up a safety in the draft, maybe Caden Stearns from Texas. Hopefully we'll see. We have some other holes, but rushing, I wouldn't say that because Chason, he hasn't panned out. I'll give him another year before I kind of start mentally moving on from him, wanting him off the team. But him and Josh Allen are not a bad,
Yeah, so y'all got Josh Allen, yeah. I was thinking, just a running mate, but yeah, you're right. They gotta give him another year.
It's quarterback and secondary, and we need D line, like an interior D lineman. Taven Bryant, he came from Florida, as you know. He's all right. He just looks lost on the field sometimes. But
the whole team, I should be looking lost sometimes.
If we could get another 3 technique or a nose, I think we'll be in good shape. But we got a lot of holes, but we'll see. I think we also have the 2nd and 3rd most cap space in the league. So I'm excited
to go to Jacksonville.
Hey man, it is what it is. We got a little, we got
a few dirty beaches.
Very dirty beaches.
A few dirty beaches on that end.
I'm just, taking it week by week. Hopefully we play well, but I'm not expecting much.
I feel it. I think. I meant that. Obviously, you probably more than likely I'm probably going to secure the 2nd pick. I don't think Jets winning the game this year, but Trevor or Justin.
I want Trevor. I don't want to sound like I play quarterback, so I'm a little more critical. Like a lot of Justin's, not a lot of them, but some of his passes are like 50-50 balls. His receivers make plays for him. I'm not saying he doesn't throw a lot of dots, but a lot of his passes are some of his passes are underthrown and stuff like that. Like he's a pretty efficient quarterback, but in the NFL, that stuff matters. Like, the windows are tighter, the DBs have better ball skills, they get their head around, stuff like that. So I just don't know. I'm more of a Trevor fan because I like a pocket passing QB. Like they both can run.
Yeah.
And that's the element that I like about Justin Fields. But I'm good with either one. But if I had to choose, it's Lawrence because I feel like he just be the better long-term option. I could see him playing in the league for 15 years, and he doesn't really get hurt. Neither of them get hurt, but I think the safer pick is Trevor Lawrence. So I'm going to need the Jets to pull off an upset today versus the Raiders. And I think they can because Josh Jacobs is not playing and Abrams not playing.
Yeah.
But we're going to see, man. I'm just, I cheer for the Jets every week, literally. I need them to pull off 2 wins, so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. It's possible. I mean, given what they did last week against my Falcons, which we're about to talk about in a second, I don't know. I feel like any team, obviously any team in the NFL could be any team, I think, any given day, except for, sometimes we give Jets a little bit of slack. But like I said, what they showed us last week, what Derek Carr did, I mean, if Jets
I
are able to
don't
get some
think
type of pressure, I was
I
like,
don't
it's more likely not going to happen. But just to help you stay optimistic, I'm talking for you. I ain't talking. I don't think they're going to win either. Like I said, they still in the AFC playoff race. They need this win bad. It's supposed to be the easier part of their schedule. Us and the Jets. So
exactly. You can't have those type of losses on your record.
But that's what they did last year too. Like they went they started off hot, and then at the end of the year, I think they went 1-6 or something. So it was like
they lost to us last year. I remember that their last game in Raider Stadium.
Yep. So who knows? And then we're gonna move on. Of course, talk about my guys, my team. It's rivalry week. It's a rematch from 2 weeks ago. Where Taysom Hill kind of carved us up. Not really carved us up. He did have a very efficient game though. Obviously, he got 2 tubs on the ground, and then I think went like 18 for 22 or 18 for 25. Regardless, most of that went to Michael Thomas. But they're back. They actually was missing some guys, but I think they're overall healthy. This week.
They're only missing Davenport and Janoris Jenkins.
Yeah, exactly. So, but talk about my guys. We're pretty healthy as well. Last week, Todd and Julio and somebody else missed. And everybody's pretty much back and ready besides James Carpenter, one of our starting linemen. But he was rotational with a rookie anyway. So that rookie has a lot of experience. So he should be able to step in, fill in, and play well as well. But pretty much where this game is going to be won or lost, same as 2 weeks ago. It's going to be in the trenches on the offensive defensive line. If our offensive line can't give Matt Ryan any type of time, to get the ball to his playmakers, then we're going to be in trouble again. And then I personally think our defense played well enough for us to win last time, especially holding them to just barely. They scored a touchdown before going to halftime, so we really held them to 3 points in a sense in the first half. But, coming out of halftime, our defense just was on the field a lot. They got tired, and like I said, they held them to 24 points, even though, that's still kind of a lot. But I think for a Falcons defense, that's viable to give our offense, enough to, push out and win a game. But like I said, it's honestly going to be one of the trenches. Our offensive line has to buck up. They got a block for Matt today. Hopefully we're able to get something going on the ground game or in the ground game. And then hopefully that opens up the passing game. And then our defense has been playing. They played well last week. If they're able to get pressure on Taysom Hill this week, keep them contained, I feel like it should be a game that we're able to win. And it's on our home stadium as well. We've got a few fans. So I think they'll be hyped and ready for this game. Like I said, it's rivalry week. They're ready to spoil. Like I said, they spoiled the Raiders game last week. Kind of put them out of play, not put them out of playoff contention, but bumped them back in seeding. And then just looking to play spoiler again. I think if we beat the Saints, the Packers may move into first. Packers or Seahawks move back into first. So and if we win as well, and then the Cardinals lose today, which we're about to get to, then we're only 1 game behind in the in the playoff race. So anything honestly can happen. Like early in the year, it was looking like we were dead and gone. We wasn't even close to weren't going to be close to sniffing the playoffs. Who knows? We're at 5-6, and there might be some other teams at 5-6 as well. Not 5-6, my fault. 5-7. If we win today, it'll be some other teams at 5-7. We're going to need a lot of help, but we're right there. Like we say, if the Cardinals lose, we're 1 game back, and who knows what can happen these last few games. It's our toughest stretch of games, playing the Bucs twice and the Chiefs and the Chargers. But still, like I said, the opportunity's there to be had, especially if they win this game. So hopefully they do. What do you think? You think Taysom Hill does anything today, or do you think the Falcons are able to win this one?
I got the Falcons today. Like we talked about before the show, I think they got film. He's played for 2 weeks against y'all in Denver, and he didn't look very well last week, even though Denver has always had a pretty solid defense. There's film on him, as you know. Like that's what they say in the league. Once they get film on you, it's a totally different game. They can see your tendencies, your weaknesses, your strengths. He doesn't have many strengths as a quarterback. So I expect the Falcons to capitalize. I know they feel somewhat embarrassed. Well, the secondary, the back, the back 7 should feel embarrassed because they let a guy who I feel like is not an NFL quarterback by any stretch have a solid game and look like a solid. I wouldn't even say a solid NFL starter, average, pretty good, decent, starter. So I feel like they'll be hungry. They're catching fire a little bit as they always do. You guys do this all the time. Like you guys start off like what? 2-5, 2-6, and, in the season winning 5 of your last 7. So expect the Falcons to play better. protect Matt because they did not protect Matt well last time you guys played the Saints at all. And I expect Julio to get off today because I don't know what it is, but the Saints, they contain him really pretty well.
Yeah.
I really don't know what it is.
It's all because of the front seven.
Yeah, they're speeding up everything.
Matt. Yeah. So that's pretty much
protect Matt.
Yeah.
Force Taysom Hill in the 3rd and longs where he like obvious passing downs to where there's no threat of him running. Maybe they'll try a draw, but
yeah.
But yeah, obvious passing downs, protect Matt and control. Like y'all get down there a lot and y'all settle for field goals against the Saints.
Yeah.
Taysom Hill, you guys got to score points.
Yeah.
Because they might create turnovers. That's what the Saints do. They create extra possessions for their offense.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as you guys capitalize once you get past the 50 and turn, 3 points into 7 points, I think you guys will be good and get the dub. And if, like I said before we started today, you guys are my lock for today. Like I know it sounds like an upset, but I expect the Falcons to win.
Yeah. We see Jameis today or no?
I hope so. No. Yes, I hope so. Yes, I hope so.
Yeah, I guess you had to hesitate because you don't hope so because
I want the Falcons.
I say you want the Falcons to win because I know you betted on them. Yeah, but
if Jameis comes in, I could see him.
You can see him winning the game for him.
If he comes in at halftime, yeah. If he has enough time, like if he comes in at the end of the 3rd when the game's out of reach, no. And Drew comes back next week, so we'll see. But if the Falcons don't win, like I told you, I'm done with them. I have no more faith in them. This should be obvious when you got tape on this guy. He's not gonna beat you over the top. So
yeah,
come on, man.
Yeah,
it should be somewhat easy. Like anything over 30 yards should be a pick because it's gonna float or it's just gonna be late. Like it's not gonna get there on time or be accurate. So
yeah. I just hope they're able to create pressure like they did last week on Derek Carr. So I think it would be
in the Raiders
secondary for sure.
Like if y'all real quick before we move on, the Raiders offense, in my opinion, is more scarier and it's more dynamic than the Saints because they have people like Waller, Ruggs, Jacobs, who else is Renfro, is in there, but they shut them down and they're more scary offense. Like there's nobody on the Saints that can beat you over the top. Maybe Emmanuel Sanders, but that's it.
Yeah. So, and they haven't really been targeting him much this season. So like I said, hopefully they should be able to contain him.
And blanket Mike Thomas too.
Oh yeah. But yeah, he's not going over the top though. Slant boy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. All you gotta stop is those slant routes, curl routes, the bench routes, and the digs, and the skinny post maybe to bang at. But that's it.
All right, we're gonna move on. We're gonna talk about. There's not that many great matchups this week, in my opinion, but this is one of them because guess this one's like more so the tall tale of the running backs. They on the Brown side they got Chubb and Hunt. Then Derrick Henry is all they really need for the Titans. So, what do you think of this game, real quick, Dad? And then, who do you see coming out on top?
This is my game of the week. The number 1 and number 2 rushing attacks in the league going head to head, and I think it's raining, so that's going to mean more carries. So I can see this being a very short game. Might only last 2 hours, to be honest. But today, I got the Titans because I think they're the more experienced team. Like they played in these playoff implication matchups, late in the season. And they have a coach that's been through it himself as a player, so he knows what it takes to be prepared for these type of games, to mentally and physically too. So if they're able to shut down the run game, force Baker in the 3rd and longs, like I said for Taysom Hill, I'm not comparing Baker to Taysom Hill, but they pretty much have him as a game manager this year. So basically, I think the Titans, Mike Vrabel already knows this. They put the game in Baker's hands, make him throw the ball today. They don't have too many people that can beat you. Jarvis Landry had a huge week against us last week, but
he hasn't had many of those this year.
Yeah, and he's not one of those kill you over the top guys. He's more of a possession receiver. So if they put a hand on him, don't let him get free releases. I don't see anybody else really beating them. I know they have 2 good tight ends, in my opinion, but they don't really feature Njoku like that.
Yeah.
So as long as they slow down Hooper and Landry in the pass game, they should be good.
Yeah.
But, it starts with stopping the run. So I'll take the Titans by 7 in a close one because I think it's still raining and
Yeah. I think Titans as well. Thing is, like the Browns are 8-3, but like, are they really 8-3?
Yeah,
It's
they
like,
haven't had any quality wins. I think
yeah,
the win was the
it might have
Colts.
been like it was like, yeah, I was about to say it might have been the Colts now because the way they've performed this year. But it's like I don't know. I'm not sold on the Browns. I'm not a Baker guy really. Obviously, I guess what their offense is about now. I don't know why my camera just went out. But what their offense is about now, obviously, is running the ball. So that does well for playoffs. Obviously, typically in the playoffs, the team that can pound it on the ground is able to churn out games and win it. But I don't know. Just I'm not sold on the Browns offense. Obviously, it's a good formula now. They got a nice 1-2 punch.
Best
But
punch in the league.
yeah, honestly, it probably is best 1-2 punch in the league. But at some point, I don't know. At some point, it's gonna have to fall on Baker's shoulders to where he's gonna have to make a clutch 3rd and 7 throw, to seal a game or win a game. I just personally don't see him being able to do that, especially now that Landry's a good receiver, obviously. But they're kind of filling in that number 2 role with OBJ being out for the rest of the year with just some other guys that can't easily be shut down. So Titans, their offense is if they have to throw Tannehill, I trust Tannehill a lot more obviously than Baker to make plays for them, and they got 2. Well, Chris or Corey Davis. Yeah, Corey Davis has came on a lot this year. Everybody was about to mark him as a bust, but he's come far away this year. He's been really solid for them, and then obviously they got AJ Brown on the other side, and they got in the slot.
Jonnu Smith is their tight end. He's very dynamic, but he's not playing today. So.
Oh yeah, but I think they got other guys that can step up and fill that role. I don't know about the tight end position, but in the receiving game. So, but like you said, it's raining. So obviously there's gonna be more carries for Derrick Henry. But if it does have to come down to a long drive or a possession to where guys have to make key throws, I trust the Titans offense over the Browns offense, which means I trust Tannehill over Baker. But it also could come down to defense as well. Titans defense is ranked pretty high, pretty bad. They're like 25th or something like that in the league. And I think the Browns are somewhere in the middle of the road. So Titans defense is going to be a challenge for them, a big challenge to pretty much see if they're a contender or pretender this week as well, because obviously going against that 1-2 punch in Hunt and Chubb, if they're not really able to stop them, it's like when it comes playoff time, are they going to really be able to stop any of the teams that can pretty much run the ball well in the AFC? So it's going to be a big matchup for them. So hopefully they're able to come out on top and win the game for them. Because like I said, I think both teams is going to probably have around close to 200 yards each on the ground. So it's probably going to come to a key stop on the defensive end for either one of these teams to win the matchup. So, but as you said, Titans, I got probably Titans by maybe a field goal, honestly.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting game for sure. Hopefully Baker can I won't say this is a big stage for him, but a lot of people are going to be watching. This is the best game on TV today, even though it might be the most boring one. Hopefully Baker shows up, and that's about it. I expect the Titans to win, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Browns won. Yeah, because they're not a terrible team.
Yeah, exactly. And then next game, pretty big game as well for NFC West and just the NFC as a whole. Playoff implications, the whole 9. Cardinals versus Rams. I think in my pick'ems for this week, I got the Cardinals winning. They're both coming off of pretty bad losses to teams that they should not have lost to. Cardinals lost to, they lost to the Patriots last week by a field goal, and then the Rams also lost by a field goal as well. So they're both hungry. They're both coming in off of losses, and this is a rivalry type game because it's an NFC West matchup. But what do you see from this game, and who do you think comes out on top?
This would be a good matchup. Isn't this their first time matching up this season?
Yeah, because they have another one in 2 weeks, I believe.
Yeah, this would be a good game. Like you said, the NFC, this has playoff implications for the NFC and the NFC West because basically, like they're all spread out by game. I think the Seahawks are 8-3, the Rams are 7-4, Cardinals 6-5, 49ers are 5-6. So can't really afford to drop any games. I don't know what I expect to see this week. I want to see Jared Goff bounce back because he didn't have his best game last week against San Fran. The Cardinals didn't play that well either, and I'm really waiting to see like how Kyler looks because I've had an AC sprain in my shoulder, not my throwing shoulder, but my opposite, and it was painful for my opposite. So I couldn't even imagine having on like his throwing shoulder. Not that game against Seattle, and even last week against New England, his same zip that he has wasn't there.
Yeah.
So I'm that would tell a lot because I'm looking forward to the Jalen Ramsey and D Hop matchup.
Mm-hmm.
So if Kyler's healthy, I got the Cardinals because they let a couple games slide that they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
So they'll be hungry to get back in the winning column. And I don't know, Jared Goff, he started off good this year, but over the past couple of weeks he's been shaky. They've even talked about the benching of him, or I don't know what that is. I don't even pay that anymore. He needs to play a little bit better, but I do not expect him to this week. Do you know where the game's at? I know there's not.
Yeah, that's what I think. I went with the Cardinals because they're playing at home for this first one because I think they're gonna split regardless.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'm right in my split, but yeah, like you just said, Kyler has that injury, so that's something to look out for against a Rams defense that has been playing stout all year. That has a solid front four that can get to the passer or get to the passer. So hopefully he doesn't injure it anymore because if he gets injured and he's hurt and he's out, for 1 or 2 games, Cardinals playoff chances might be over with, honestly. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Both teams have to bounce back. Jared Goff has been good in certain games, but in games that we expect him to play well, he just hasn't. Like the Miami game, he didn't. This game this past week against the 49ers, he didn't. So, as a whole, they need to step up. But I think Jared Goff, he has a lot, riding on this game as well and on this season, honestly. But I personally just think I went with the Cardinals just because it's a home game right now. I think they split regardless. And they kind of need this one a little bit more than the Rams. Yeah, obviously, both teams need it, but I think the Cardinals need this one a little bit more. So I think they're going to be a little bit more hungry. Hopefully, like I said, I'm just looking forward to the Ramsey D Hop matchup. Is going to be a good one. And it might just come down to who's able to make that extra play, extend plays and make that extra plays and just be more efficient on the offensive side of the ball. So hopefully the Cardinals are able to somehow find a way to take advantage of that Rams defense, and hopefully the Rams offense is somehow able to take advantage of a Cardinals defense. So it'll be interesting to see, but I think the Cardinals take this first matchup. Let me see. And then last one we're going to hit on. I think the last one we're going to hit on. But just because this is not a game that's being played today, it's going to be played Monday in the afternoon. But Big Ben, I think, is reportedly maybe not playing. I think he has maybe a knee injury. So this is an opportunity for Washington to possibly take a hold of first place if the Giants lose today, and for the Steelers to, ruin their undefeated season. So if Big Ben does or doesn't play, what do you see coming from this game? Oh, snap. That might have froze out. You can hear me, Thad?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, yeah. It froze out it froze out for a second. But I said it's just reported that Big Ben might not play. He got a knee injury. So I was saying
I heard that.
Okay, my fault. Yeah. So what do you see from this game? Dang, I freeze out again when I'm saying. You can hear me, Thad?
Yeah.
Okay, no, he's still going. My fault.
When we go out. But yeah, this Big Ben doesn't play. I see this being a trap game because their other options aren't very good. Mason Rudolph, we saw what he was capable of. I'm not really fond of him as a quarterback. So if I'll say like key dramatic, like a couple plays, that front seven, the pressure they'll generate on him will have him a little flustered, and the offense will be very pedestrian.
Yeah.
But the Pittsburgh defense is also very good, so they'll hold Washington to very few points. Mm-hmm. So regardless, I see them coming out, the Steelers coming out on top. But without Big Ben, I could see a potential upset or a very, very close game. A game that's closer than it's supposed to be because Washington's front four is ridiculous. And Jack Del Rio, he was the Jaguars' old coach, and one thing he likes to do is blitz. So he's not going to let you sit back there and sit pretty. And you already have 4 guys getting pressure, and one of them might win their matchup. So, you never know.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Big Ben, he's dramatic. He said he was going to retire a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And he didn't.
Yeah.
So we'll see. He's probably he has a little bone bruise. He'll be all right. I think he'll play. I think it's all, smoke.
Yeah. Probably so. I not that I hope he doesn't play, but if he does play, I think it'd still be a good matchup anyway. But if he doesn't play, I think Washington definitely has the edge. Like you said, their front four is ridiculous. Alex Smith has been playing really well too. We already seen what Mason Rudolph is, has done whenever he's been a starter. So I think if he doesn't play, I think the edge definitely goes to Washington. I think they'll be able to, control the ball, be able to. Alex Smith isn't obviously he's not going a world beater. He's not going to be tossing it all the way down the field, but he's going to make timing plays to put you in position to win the game. But like you said, the Steelers defense is pretty stout, and they can help. Like Creamers, like you said about the Saints defense, they can help give the offense, extra possessions and short fields as well. So who knows? I personally hope the Steelers. I hope the Steelers lose just because I don't really want to see them go undefeated. I don't really think they're not the they're not the team to fear the most in the NFL. Yeah. Everybody kind of sees that and knows that, even though they are undefeated. But maybe just to bring them back down to earth, I guess, and their fans.
I think they have a trap game. I think they have to play the Browns one more time, so I can see them potentially losing that.
Yeah.
Steelers, if barring anything really, really crazy, I got the Steelers by 10.
Of course, yeah. And then last thing, we'll just go through our picks real quick before we sign off and head off. Obviously, we kind of already talked about our games and some of the other games, but we'll just go over as a slate. So I'll just say the matchup, and you can say who you think's win. So Saints, Falcons.
Falcons.
Of course. I'm going with Falcons too. Jaguars, Vikings.
I got the Vikings, but we up 7-0, so upset alert.
Yep. I say I told you Mike Glennon is that guy feeling ill well. I think y'all might win. I personally was about to say the Jaguars because the Vikings are so up and down. They've been playing decent the last few weeks, but I'm going to go opposite. I'm going to go Jaguars. Jaguars win this one. Okay. Rams, Cardinals.
Cards.
I said the Cardinals as well. Dallas, Ravens.
Ravens. Ravens by 20.
Yeah, I'll take Ravens as well. I know Dobbins came back from COVID. I'm pretty sure Lamar will be back by then too, hopefully.
Yeah, they say he's going to play.
Okay, yeah. Browns, Titans.
Titans.
Colts, Houston.
I was going to say the Texans, but Will Fuller just got suspended, and that was Deshaun's favorite target. Deshaun's having a low-key good season. Well, he is having a good season. He's just going under the radar, so I'm going to go with the Colts.
Yeah, I'll go with the Colts as well. Yeah. He lost another time, but David Johnson comes back, the guy they traded for D Hop. So
yeah,
maybe he had the crazy game. Nah.
All
right, Pats and Chargers.
This one's a little interesting. I'm gonna go with Pats because Herbert's had a good season, but his first time going against Belichick, he's gonna show him a little something. So I'm gonna go with Pats.
Yeah, and Patriots been playing decent in the last few weeks.
The cards last week.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll go Pats as well. I think this is a game they need as well. Well, they pretty much might need every game from here on out, but they definitely need this one today. So
because they're not winning the division.
Yeah, exactly. Broncos, Chiefs.
Chiefs by 20.
Yeah.
Like, I called it before the season. I know we might be seeing another dynasty, bro. Like I know I might be dragging it, but Andy Reid, the play caller, and then the weapons they have, and Mahomes is like, he's not cocky. He wants to get better. He wants to be the best. So
exactly.
Yeah, I can see them.
Yeah, they definitely.
They're unstoppable. Put it like that. I've never picked against them since he's became the quarterback. Like in the beginning, I was a little skeptical, but once I saw a full season, never ever picked against them, and I never will. So
yeah, it's really hard too. So yeah, definitely going with them as well. Appreciate you, Steven, for checking in. I know we're about to head out soon. So appreciate you for watching, tuning in with us. Lions, Chicago.
Bears, because the Lions have a lot of injuries. Kenny Galladay's not playing. I don't know if Matthew Stafford was playing, but he was questionable with a right thumb. So as a quarterback, if your thumb's a little, off, you can't really control the ball. So
yeah. I don't know. This is like a matchup of two teams that I hate. Like I've been like hating on all year because I've been on the Bears offense all year, and Detroit I've been on them all year as well. So it's like I really don't want to go with Chicago. I'm gonna go with Detroit, and it pains me, but I just can't believe in the Bears offense right now. Even though they got weapons that can make plays for you, but like Mitch Trubisky, obviously Nick Foles is out. I just don't trust any of their QBs to win them a game, so I'm gonna go Detroit. Raiders Jets.
I want to call the upset, man, but I feel like the Raiders, like they got if they would have lost to the Falcons by a couple, and then they came to the Jets week sleeping, I would pick the Jets, but I feel like they're like John Gruden's pissed off about that loss, so he got in his team's ass in practice this week. It was a rough week in practice, I feel like.
Yeah.
So they'll come out and take care of business. So I got the Raiders by 10 or 14.
Yeah, I'll take the Raiders too. It's another big game. Like I said, it was supposed to be part of their easier schedule, so it was supposed to beat us and the Jets to kind of secure that they're one of their spots in the playoffs. But yeah, it's looking like the other way. So I'm gonna go with the Raiders though because they need this one. Eagles, Packers.
Packers. I think I don't know Carson Wentz. I'm a fan of his. I know there's not too many people out there that like him, but
yeah,
he's heard all the noise. He's had a bad season so far. I will say that, and the rumors of like NFL players on Twitter saying that he's garbage, that he shouldn't be starting. I think he's heard all that, and he'll have a bounce back game. So I'm going to pick the Packers, but I think Packers by 3, and Carson Wentz will have a good day today.
Yeah, their defense has played pretty well all year. It's just like he hasn't had reliable offensive weapons that continue to be healthy and play. Like he always has one person in or out of the lineup all the time. Like I think the person that's played the most right now is probably Travis Fulgham.
Exactly, the kid from Auburn.
Yeah. So hopefully, like I said, he has a bounce back game. I'm gonna go Packers as well. I think that they're at home, and I just don't see the Eagles winning this one. It's at Lambeau. It's probably really. Or they're used to the cold too, but it's at Lambeau. Packers have been playing okay, been playing decent as well, but. Eagles are just kind of in shambles, especially on the offensive side. I don't know if they're able to get it fixed before the end of the year. Yeah, like I said, but all in all, if they are able to string some games together and win some, obviously they'll end up winning and taking, I guess, that first place spot in the NFC East because they got that tie game. So, or unless the head-to-head comes into play, but Packers, Washington Steelers. Yeah, we're gonna go Steelers too. Like you said, if Big Ben plays, I think they win this one. But if he doesn't, it might go the other way. But I'll go Steelers anyway. New York, Seattle. I think that was easy too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Seattle.
Yeah,
I give the Giants a slight chance, but Daniel Jones hurt his hamstring, so he's not playing. And Cole McCoy, I haven't watched him play since his Texas days.
Yeah, so that might be
Seahawks by 2 TDs.
Yeah,
but the Giants, they play hard for their coach. Like I hear people say, but I actually watched them play. They really do.
Exactly. And there's been a lot of guys that stepped up and played really well, like running back Wayne Gallman. Defensively, and then defensively, I think their secondary has played a lot better as well.
Last week.
Yep, that's what I was about to say. Yep. So hopefully, they might make it interesting, but I think Seattle wins this one as well, and they're at home. Even though they don't have no fans, but they're at home. Bills in San Francisco.
This one, I don't know if this is an upset, but I'm gonna go with the Niners by 3 in a close one. I feel like the Niners, like they're having that little Super Bowl slump year, whatever they call it, hangover, but they have some quality wins. Like they're inconsistent. They can show up anytime, literally. They swept the Rams this year. Who else did they? I feel like they have another quality win on their schedule, but they're a tough bunch. I feel like they'll give Josh Allen some problems. I think they're playing in Arizona anyway, aren't they? Because of their something happened to where they had to reload.
Yeah. They are. I don't remember what stadium, but I think they are playing in Arizona.
So the ghost of D Hop's gonna haunt the Bills again, being in that stadium, and I don't have too much reason why I'm picking the 49ers, but it's kind of a gut feeling. I feel like Josh Allen, he has he'll have 3 to 4 bad games per season. Yeah. And I think this will be one of them. And Richard Sherman's back. He looked pretty decent last week. He caught a pick. So I got the Niners by Niners by 3, and I feel like they feel like they're still in the hunt because the NFC is pretty tight.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
they're taking it one game at a time, and I think if I'm not mistaken, they're 500, right? No, they're
5-6. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're still in it. They're still playing hard. Minus missing a lot of people. Like their injury report's been filled the entire season.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I have confidence in Kyle Shanahan. I don't know who's starting, if Mullins is still starting, but I don't really think it matters for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be Mullins again. I think he played. He got them a win last week against the Rams. He's been playing decent, and they're getting a lot of offensive weapons back. Like Mozart came back last week. Ayuk is supposed to play, I think, this week. Debo Samuels had a really big game last week. Obviously, it would help if they had Kittle, but you said what?
I said he was trolling Aaron Donald on Twitter after.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. So I don't know. It could, like I said, Mullins, I guess, he's an
okay backup.
Yeah, he's a capable guy, I guess, that's gonna put the team in position, not team in position to win a game, but it's like he's not going. I guess he hasn't been making that many mistakes, but obviously, like I said, as you can see last week, he put the team in position to win the game at the end. So I can see why you go. I'm still going with the Bills. I don't think I can go against them, but I can see why you can see the upset. They're getting guys back healthy on both sides of the ball, and they're gonna give a Bills a run for their money. But I think the Bills end up pulling this one out. I'll go opposite. They win by 3. So yeah. Hopefully, I say we hopefully mine are right. I'm trying to watch this Falcons game right now. They're getting a little bit of pressure on Taysom.
I know you just saw that drop pick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Pissed. Like, bro, what are you doing? Like that type of stuff. Like I said, now they're getting pressure on them. They just got a sack on them as well. But like I said, as long as they get pressure on them, I feel like this is going to be an easy game for us defensively. But offensively, we just gotta keep the front four. Gotta keep them blocked in order to give Matt Ryan any type of time to win the game. So, but
I really don't. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I just don't think he's like an NFL quarterback. Like this really should be an easy game.
Yeah.
Anything over 30 yards is not.
It should be picked, like you just said. We just got pressure on him, hit him. He threw the ball to nobody, literally, and Ricardo Allen just dropped the ball, which I kind of expected. I saw him. I think he questioned it in the air. He didn't even fully go after it hard enough, and he just dropped it. But it's whatever. We're getting some pressure on him now, and hopefully they're able to get off the field on this third down right here. Nope, first down. But that does it for today. Saturday to Sunday. Went through our college football games. What we think is going to happen in the college football playoffs, and then the SEC and ACC games in 2 weeks. And then also, of course, NFL games, the big games for today, our team's games, and then we just went through our NFL picks of the week. So. Loaded show, pretty good show. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thad, let me know where you can find you. And I guess what to look forward to next week. We'll probably do an NBA show and bring Devin back on for sure.
You guys can find me on Instagram at Thad_underrated, and my Twitter is Thad504. We're gonna be coming into you guys with more content. More NBA, more NFL, more college football predictions, etc. Y'all stay tuned. We'll see y'all next week.
Yep.
That's about it.
Exactly. Sorry, I'm over here looking. They just let Taysom Hill scramble for like 30, 40 yards. This is getting ridiculous. They're pissing me off already. So let me hurry up and get off this live before I say something I shouldn't. But guys already know where to find this episode and other episodes, past episodes, future episodes, and all our tweets and content is at Twitter and Instagram. But at Twitter is What the Game Means to Me, or WTG MTM Podcast. Instagram and Facebook, What the Game Means to Me. Comment, interact with us. Let us know what we should do in the future. Like I said, more than likely, probably gonna do an NBA show this upcoming week to prep for the upcoming season. Maybe even do a NBA city jersey rankings. Maybe a live little rankings. Everybody came out with their city jerseys this week, so maybe rank them. Worst to best or whatever. So. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoy your Sunday. Hopefully your teams win the games. My team's losing now. And yeah, everybody have a good one. Be safe.